All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to BBL Supercoach. I think it's round 12 podcast. With the team lists for tonight's game are about to drop. So, yeah, we are recording a little bit early. But that's because none of us are really going to have time in the morning to get one out to you and just to give you our thoughts about what to get for this next upcoming double round for several teams. All right, how we going? How are you going, Burgs? What's happening?
I'm going pretty terrible Supercoach wise. Otherwise, not too bad. Supercoach wise, you know how you just have that week that goes wrong. I had Steve Smith in my side. I reversed the trade when I was at Con's house and just got him out and played head. So it was just a double whammy that was. And then I thought I better pod captain because I'm playing Rossco, who brought in and VC'd him. This actually has caused a problem with my other ones because I wanted to do well in that one because it's our group. It's the 360 group. And I thought I really needed to make up some ground. So I threw the pod captain on Caleb Jewell, 11 or something. Yeah, but anyway, that's beside the point. But what's happened there is my panic in trying to do well there has cost me in every other one I was in.
Oh,
because I ended up benching. I pulled Bancroft off the bench because I heard Inglis had a sore finger, and just everything went poorly this round. But that's Supercoach, you know.
Yep, I feel that. What about you, Timmy? You feel his pain?
Oh, mate, absolutely. Of the last 2 weeks, I've had 2 solid reds. I'm going to have another red this week. It's the only reds I've had since the first game of the season. It's just I can't pick my nose or my ass right at the moment. I'm having a shocker. I'm currently sitting on 487. I've got Carey to loop in to top that off, but I've still got Daniel Sams left, who I brought in this week. So I brought in Labuschagne. I brought in Head and Carey last round. They both flopped. Head's still flopping. I dropped Hardy to loop in Carey. So there's 30 points I've lost there. And played Bancroft over Hardy. So I did speak to a very good friend of ours who we might all do a podcast with on another channel. And he suggested strongly that Hardy was the player for me to drop. And I have absolute faith in this person. So, he never gives me a bum steer. And I know he contemplated selling Hardy himself. So it's totally my own fault. It's just one of those things. So, yeah, basically everything that I could have done wrong this week, I did. And then to go the pod captain route, I tried to captain Abbott, and that flopped with a massive what's he on, 44 or something like that. So it gave me an 88 in total for captaincy. I VC'd Labuschagne, and that just hasn't worked. So, yeah, pretty much 3 things I did this week all flopped, and I'm not winning. On the positive note, I'm only sitting at about 2,500 spots, so it's not all doom and gloom. I've come back from 50,000 or whatever the hell I was after round 1. So, yeah, that's the joys of Supercoach.
Oh, quickly before you go on to me, the teams are in. Final teams are in for tonight's game. Blake Nikiridis has come into the team, so I hope no one's using him as a loop because he was enough. He's come in for Sam Whiteman. And for the Renegades, Kua Wafi-Pola, or however you pronounce the name, has actually been dropped. Ooh. And Corey Rocchioli will make his debut for the Renegades. Renegades have won the clip and will bat first.
Well, I have seen a few teams with Roccassini or whatever his name is as enough, so that could hurt a few actually.
Well, I think a few of them will have that Nicaragua. That bloke could even have that bloke from the Thunder too.
Yep.
Karawata.
Yeah, well, no, the bloke Nicaragua or whatever his name is. But it's interesting to see that they haven't given Joel Davies a crack there. I really thought he might have got to go.
Yeah.
Renegades are batting first. That's a good thing for Sam's owners like myself. Hopefully Sam's will get his 4 overs in.
Hopefully it rains.
Piss off.
Rossco, how are you been? Rossco, what's happening with your team? You're the superstar
Oh,
here. What's
mate,
going on?
well, I'm actually having a good round for once, and my pod move of bringing in Steve Smith and putting the VC on him this week actually paid off for once. I'm actually having my best round in a long time after seeing Red Arrows for about the last 6 weeks or 6 rounds. I'm sitting on about 1,097 with Warner left to play tonight.
Wow.
So everything I did, I think Head was the only one who's been my downfall at the moment. He got 15. But other than that, I even nailed all my bench loops for once. Like I had Webster as a bench loop, who I've bench looped in. I've had who else did I have? I had Carey as a bench loop, which I've looped in as well. Yeah, it's just been one of those rounds where everything went right. So surprisingly for once, because I've been sticking it up the last few weeks badly. I've dropped about 1,300 places in the last 6-7 rounds.
You'll double my score plus 200 points.
Well, I've tripled my score from last week. Last week I scored 397, so I've tripled that.
Gotta love this game.
Mate.
It's a great game, isn't it?
Bring on the NRL.
Whoever thought that Head would be a bad thing, eh?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Let's just say I regretted going out and getting it so quickly.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I wasn't going to bring Head in. I was going to bring Carey in. But then when Head was named to open and Carey was named to bat 4, I ended up going for Head like everyone else did. But I just want to say, I'm sure you guys are going to agree with me. What is with people rage trading players in particular who have one bad game and have a double coming up? We had 2,400 people trade out Aaron Hardy last week. 885 people trade out Josh Inglis off one bad game. Like, I don't understand the people's thought process sometimes. Like, and then there was a ton of people in leagues that I'm in the benched Inglis and Hardy. I know some of you guys did, and I know, unfortunately, I think Ty did as well, and a couple others that are right up there didn't play Hardy either. So, but some of those sells this week were just shake my head at it. I don't understand.
How would you be? There was 28 people who sold Steve Smith.
Yeah, I know.
Ouch.
I know. And someone sold into some geriatric like bloody Jimmy Pearson or some shit like that. So, and then I think a few traded him out to Daniel Sams to chase his points from last round as well. Yeah.
Sam's is going huge, mate. Sam's is going huge.
Well,
yeah.
We'll have a look. My team is not going that good. I know that I'm ranked somewhere in the hundreds mark, but it's I did the cardinal sin of getting way too busy, not changing my team, not changing my captain from last week. I just got too under the pump with everything, and got stuck with Abbott as captain, and I had Short as vice captain, so I just fucked up. But it's a time poor bit, and I'm actually going to write an article on that, and it'll go on the website for NRL. When the website will be up and running soon, but Burgs will talk about that a bit later. But we'll look. It was a great game. I actually went to the game at Coffs Harbour. Congratulations to the BBL, massive congratulations. There was nothing but thousands of kids there, just all having an absolute rip snorting time. I sat on the hill and kids were just running berserk, just having a great time, catching balls, trying to catch balls. The players hung around like, man, they just signed autographs. I got one of them great, I actually was going to bring it on and show it. It's outside, but I got one of them great big fingers, and I got every Sixers player signed it. I got Steve Smith, Lyon, I got everybody to sign it. And I'm actually going to give it away to a client of my wife's, a disabled lady who loves the Sixers.
That's nice.
So we did it for her, and I said, "Oh man, have a look at this!" Like, but I've already got their signatures on a bat or something like that somewhere. Some of these things you don't keep, or you forget to look at. But the players are fantastic. And the BBL themselves were, $20. You can go have a hell of a lot of fun. I wish the NRL would take some, something out of their. Have a good close look at what they can provide, particularly in regional areas. Like I've been to Gabba and SCG. And we'll all be at the SCG except for Timo this week, which we might do a live cross Burgs, yeah?
Absolutely, we will.
So we're all going to be at the SCG this week, but the access they give players out in the regional areas, and it's fantastic. So hats off to the BBL for good shit there. All right, who we
The
looking
$1 million
at?
question is,
Yep.
Brad, who did you get to come on a pod for us from the Sixers, mate? Did you get any hookups or what?
No, they weren't, mate. There was that many kids surrounding every one of them. I was just lucky to, and I actually sent one of my own, my 20-year-old son went in a bat for me and got all the signatures, but I think he was about 30 beers deep himself. But
That'll be us on Saturday night when we go for a live cross after we've had 30 beers deep.
I'll be sober. Ish.
Yeah.
Ish.
Oh, you wait. I'll bring some cookies, mate.
Righto, game on.
All right. Okay, so boys, let's get serious. Who are we looking at trading here? Who's going to start off? Who wants to start off with this week's trade ideas?
Well, for me, I think Head was a bad idea. I'm not going to persevere there. I know he's open and batting, but with the Perth and the Heat duel coming up, I think, and then the Hurricanes the week after, I've really got to start focusing on the doubles there and what to do. By rights, you should have a couple of Heat and a couple of Perth Scorchers already. So if that's the case, I'd be focused on maybe bringing in one from either one of those sides and then looking towards the week later. If you are struggling for Heat and Perth Scorchers, that means you probably still do have the likes of Wade, Dooley, Ellis and that in your side anyway. So you might just want to hold those guys. There is a buy, isn't there? Someone's got a buy in amongst that.
Scorcher's got the buy around last round.
So by rights, you probably don't want to take any more than 3 or 4 into that following round. So if you already have 3 or 4, I wouldn't be loading up on them guys to bring in 5 and 6 if you catch my drift. I'd be looking at Heat and Hurricanes. But from the Heat, it's hard to pick. Like Labuschagne 66, I could handle that 2 weeks in 2 games in a row on the hopes that he does go large in one of them. I would look to bring in a Labuschagne and Uzi's had no form, so I do expect him to get at least one decent bat in before he gets out of there, don't you think?
Oh, you'd back him in, surely.
Yeah. And he's cheap. I'm pretty sure he'd be pretty cheap next round too. He's dropping dollars. He's dropping a lot of cash.
He could be your bench loop if you really want.
Yeah.
But in saying that's the other thing. You don't want to sell your Scorchers that following week because it gives you your free bench loop straight away.
Yeah, you want to keep probably 3 Scorchers, 1 for each position for your bench loop.
Yeah, so and you don't want to waste money either. So
yeah. Well, I've already got 5 Scorchers. It was 6 because I sold Cam Brancroft to nothing Baxter Holt so I could get carries 84. And I've already got Josh Brown and Michael Neester. I have no faith whatsoever in any other players in that team from the Heat that is worth bringing in, especially with the fact that I've just seen that Mark Steckerty's been named in the squad now too. So who knows what's going to happen with Spencer Johnson? Does he drop out? Does Mitch Wexton drop out? I don't know. There's nobody. So my trades for tomorrow, I might start looking at just bringing in a couple of Hurricane players. But I probably want to get like Travis Head. He's got to go too. I think I agree with you, Burgs. And I'm actually contemplating even trading out Sean Abbott as well because most of my other players I've got now are double game players pretty much. So I'll probably look at blokes like, well, I don't know about Dooley, how he's going to go. He pulled up injured last night, so I don't know if he's going to be right to go for next round. But blokes like Ellis or Meredith or even Tim David is the one that I'm looking at too. I mean, Tim David may as well open. He comes in that quickly. So I don't mind his shout either. But Yeah, that's where I'm sitting at the moment. But wait until it opens tomorrow and go from there.
Yeah, no. Timmy, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so at the moment, I've got 5 heat and 3 scorchers in my team.
5
So
Jeez.
yeah,
What up?
Fuck hell.
I,
You are a true supporter, aren't you, Tim?
I had to do something right at some stage, didn't I? So I planned specifically for this round 12, 13. So I've already got Labuschagne, I've got Brown, I've got Hardy and Bancroft all up at batting. Then down in bowling, I've got Nisa, Johnson, and Swepson. Who knows what Swepson's going to do because he's been pretty crap this season. I've got AJ Ty as well, so I've got eight for the double. I'd probably keep Sean Abbott. I'll be keeping Matty Short. And so at this stage, best case scenario, I'm probably looking at Ellis from the Canes. I've probably got to try and find a way to get Inglis in. So it may even be a carry to Inglis. And then if Dooley's fit, I'll probably find a way to bring him in. So
Who's your other keeper? Who's your other keeper, Timmy?
Sorry?
Who's your keeper? Carey and
at the moment, I've got Carey, Hanscom, Dermy, Bancroft.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I've got plenty there to loop with Dermy and Bancroft. I think you're mad going into a double without Inglis because he can just hurt you. So,
look what he did last night.
That's exactly right.
113 points last night. So yeah.
So I think Ellis, Inglis, and Dooley are probably the 3 that I'm aiming for. I had Matty Wade and dropped him at the start of this round. He's been pretty average this season as well. So, yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
it's going to be one of those hard ones. It's going to be one of those hard ones.
I traded Dermy out. I know they had a double coming up, but I had no faith in Dermy. So I actually sold him this round, thank goodness.
Yeah, well done.
But it's interesting because it's going to be interesting because Hardy's going to go from the 3rd most sold this round to be the most purchased next round, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah,
and Inglis will be up there too. Please don't own him. You want him too.
Well, on my side of things, for the Heat players, I've got Labuschagne already. I've already got Nisa, as everyone probably should, and I've already got Josh Brown. The Steckety one is interesting. I dare you to go have a look at his stats at the Gabba. You got to remember both these games are going to be played at the Gabba.
Yeah.
So I reckon almost certainly one of the spinners will go. I wouldn't mind. I reckon they'll get rotated. Kuhneman will play one and Swepson will play the other or something crazy like that. But you wouldn't go to a Gabba set of games, both of them, unless you had like 3 sort of quick bowlers. Well, you need Nessier, Baisley's the other one. I'm probably going to go Curtis Baisley, believe it or not. And Steckety. I just can't see him not playing the 2 games. But that's only my thoughts, and I could be wrong. But I think you could do a lot worse than go him as a buy because, as I said, they're Gabba games. And he's been rested a lot of the time when he's not playing at the Gabba, but now he's back there. I think he's one to look at. In the Scorchers, I've got Ty and Berendorf already. I've already got Inglis as well. So, I'll probably look at getting another Scorcher in somewhere there. I'm just not sure who. I don't really think I need another bowler.
Just on Nisa, Brad, I think he is a must-have next round for their double, with both games being at the Gabba. You're absolutely nuts if you not jump on him next round.
Yep.
And I think Steckety could be a sneaky pod, but the problem is, does he play both games? I know they're both at the Gabba. And he hasn't had a great year, but we know what he was capable of. He killed it last year. And a couple of games have been dropped. He might come back all fired up, and who knows what he's going to do. So he's definitely going to be a pod for sure. So
I like him. I like it a lot, actually. He's got Supercoach pedigree to his name. He had a couple of rough trots, but they're often on pitches that didn't really suit him. Back at the Gabba, the ball's going to be zipping around like you wouldn't believe. It'll be very, very interesting. All right, so I guess
just a quick one, Brad. Sorry, buddy. The other one I do like, which I didn't mention, sorry, I had it written down, was Renshaw. I think, well, if they drop a spinner, there's every chance he gets some overs as well. So I think you sort of can't go wrong with him. Obviously, the game fell on his shoulders the other night, and he seemed to take it with both hands. So I think he bats in a good spot. So he should get plenty of time on the crease, and yeah, might get some overs here and there as well. So I think he's probably a good shout.
I think he's bowled one over in the last 3 games that they've played too. So I think it's a good. I think it's not the worst option. Put it that way. He's perfect bench loop. If you want someone there for a bench loop, like I think I read predicted price that Tim Mitchell put out that he's up to about 100 and some, just over 100K now. So he had a nice price rise. So the thing was about 74K. So he's jumped up nicely. But still, obviously, that's a good one to go. Like if you want to go Travis Head out, head straight to Renshaw's perfect trade for, I reckon, too.
Yeah.
For about the same amount of dollars.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's a great point there. Well, you got me thinking about Renshaw. I think, that's a really good one to look at. I guess with the first game of the round is the strikers versus the scorchers, and you really want to have one of your bench loops coming from sort of a striker. Now, all you guys are saying Head, but don't you reckon he'd be a good one, particularly at home in Adelaide? Nice little short square boundaries. Man, he could be very tempting to hold in your team and have him as your bench looper, possibly. I mean, if he scores, 50, 60 runs and as a bowl, he could easily crack you out 110. I'd take that any day of the week.
It's interesting. I want to see the makeup of their team, Brad, because if they play an extra batter, I think definitely he's probably one to look at. I mean, he hasn't bowled because they've had stacks up of bowlers, but their batting depth is not great, like at all. Like they need an extra batter in that team for the next game. And if someone drops out and he comes in, like if they drive Boyce or Menenti or one of those spinners out, which I think they will, I think there's a damn good chance that Head could bowl an over or two. So depending on their team, and it's good because they play first because that's great for our trade. But if the batting lineup's stacked and there's less bowlers, I think he's definitely a good shout for a hold, Brad. I think I agree with you on that one. I think it's a good idea.
Well, automatically for me, that puts Matty Short as my bench loop for one of them.
Really? You're not going to play him?
Hey?
What, you're not going to play Matt Short in your starting side?
Depends how many double gamers I've got there, and you can move him around with the versatility of Matt Short. Yes, you can play him because you can swap him with batter and bowler and move the shitter player out, that's the great thing with Matt Short. For me, but like if I'm going to stack up, and this is probably the week to do it with the 2 double games. Hopefully, some people still got a boost, so you can boost your way out at the end to bring in your next ones. But this is the game to go hard to get some points on with the 2 double games. It's nearly over. Like I've had a poor week this week. Probably brought down bold Gary. Sorry, lads. But in saying that, the last couple of weeks, I think it was 3 weeks ago, everyone else scored 400. I got 800. And that's the sort of game we're playing. And the only reason the week after that, I didn't pick my double game players right, and people outscored me by plenty. Now, taken away from that, this is the game where this is a make-up game for me. If I pick the right pods and have the right people that are already going to score well, then you might be able to make up some ground. And then boost you up.
I just want to bring up a point on what you just brought up, Burgs, too. If you've got double game players in your team, and you've got obviously going to have single game players too, all your double game players should be on your field. You should not have any of them on your bench as bench loop. Your bench loop should be set up for your single game players. There is no reason to have any single game players that are set in your starting side unless you don't have enough double game players to make up that amount. But all your double game players should be in your starting side. They've got 2 chances to score well. So that's my suggestion. That's all I can say.
Unless your name's Matt Short, because you need to have the VC loop on him.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have it. You wouldn't have it on VC on him with 2 double gamers next round. If you'd have your VC on a scorcher.
I was about to say, yeah, you got to
tomorrow
go
night.
a scorcher, really.
Yeah.
They've got the 2 games, so you got to go Ty or Berendorf.
Or Hardy. I like Hardy. Hardy could be a sneaky too. Sneaky VC.
We
Or
actually
even
did have
Josh
a
Inglis.
question about this, Rossco, and you might be quickly able to answer it. I think it's Paul Birkendorf.
Yeah.
He watches us all the time, and he comments to us a fair bit. G'day, Paul. Hope you're cracking one out and having a beer. Now he wanted to know what the status was with Jai Richardson. You got any news there? Is he any chance at this round, or is it just to forget him?
So Honeyball posted up today that he is possibly going to be available for the second round of their double gamers, which could be a bit of a killer. I mean, let's put it this way: if you're trading in this next round, you're looking to bring Scorchers bowlers in. Do not go near Kelly or Morris, because if Guy Richardson comes in for that second game of the double, he's going to take one of their spots.
What Haynes not at any?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, he's an international, so probably not. I mean, but it all depends. He didn't play the other night, so who knows, Burgs? I don't know what they're going to do. Right? Who knows what Burgs is going to do? But
it's spoiled for choice. Let's face facts. So
it's just crazy, man. Yeah. I think probably Berendorf should be pretty safe because he's just had a rest. So if you're looking at a Scorchers bowl to jump on, he's probably the safest one other than Ty, I think.
I'm worried about Ty. Ty's put in a massive season so far, and he's the only one that really hasn't had a rest, So I worry about Ty.
I think Burgs, it's going to come down to the result of the local derby on Saturday night, because Scorchers want that top spot, right? First and second play each other, right? And it's a massive home ground advantage to be having that game at Optus, because the winner of that game goes straight to the grand final, right? So I don't see them resting their most informed bowler unless they're guaranteed of that top spot, which I don't know is going to happen, because I really don't see the Thunder beating the Sixers. I don't, but it's BBL. Anything's possible.
Yeah. All right. Now, Burgs, you want to give us a quick rundown? We've got NRL about to hit us. You guys have, Juzzy and Con and yourself, you've been working on a few things, and we're going to start cracking out some content soon.
We are. Just been trying to run around, do a little bit, basically try to find you guys some help, because in last NRL season, you were putting up some great write-ups, throwing us some mad questions in segments, and just this year, and I've done BBL with this year, and it was a lot more professional than what we probably put out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I want to change what we're doing, but the level we got to take it up a notch. And I'm hoping that this year, like with the new crew who sort of got in and around, that we're going to do that. Basically, the website's where it's at. We realise that I know for a fact, like our podcast itself's more for the relaxed sort of super coach, someone that's not fully nuts. But in saying that, people we have around us have some great information and great insight, like the outside the box super coaches, you know what I mean? And they open our eyes to so much more than just the game, like there's little hints and tricks and things that you just can't teach someone, you know what I mean? It's up to them to learn it, but we don't necessarily know how to point them in the right direction. Whereas we've got the website, we'll have videos from different people throughout the year. Hopefully, going to get on a lot more guests this year. Take it back to its roots, where we had guests on every week, and they opened our eyes to so much more about super coaching. Like, we're not the greatest of super coaches, like me, Juzzy, and Con ourselves, but we've gone out and found good super coaches, and sort of like you two fellas are great super coaches, you know what I mean? Timmy, you're a great super coach as well, but constantly out there, and the information's second to none, and everywhere else seems to be charging for it. Like, no offense to them, good on them for doing that, because that's their way of making money, but the people we've gone out and found, they're already doing this stuff. They're writing it for communities. They're putting it on Facebook for people anyway. Not everyone has Facebook. Not everyone uses social media. I know at least 20 people who've only ever found us through the website, and that's just me. And I don't know all that many people, you know. So the website for me this year, it's all about building that up and just pretty much stockpiling information for people to go through and find their favourite people that they like to listen to or read about, and just follow them, especially if they're on a run this year and they're pumping out the good information, then you can't go wrong, you know. Timmy the other year from experience did it. If you jumped on and listened to him up until round 17 before he dropped out, you're on point, you're up there. It was just one of them things, like, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. Bring on NRL. All right,
Yeah,
back
absolutely.
to BBL. I'm going to quickly throw you my captain's choice. My vice captain is probably going to be, probably going to be a scorcher, probably Berendorf, and I will then go into a captain of Nisa. What are your thoughts, Rossco? What are you doing with vice captain?
Given the games at Adelaide Oval, short boundaries, I'm probably going to go with Braddo, to be honest with you, over a bowler. Like, I think if it was at Optus, I probably would have gone a bowler. But given it's there, I'm thinking Hardy or Inglis as VC.
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
the worst option. I mean, it's only the VC and then C. Yeah, I think if they fail, I'd say probably Nisa, mate, to be honest with you. I don't think, given the games at Gabba, I don't think you could go wrong there, to be honest with you. Yeah, so that's where I'll be going, mate, I think.
Jimmo?
Yeah, look, I agree with Rossco in Hardy or Inglis. At the moment, I've only got Hardy. I'd have to bring Inglis in, which was my plan anyway. Maybe a pod captain with Ty, or pod VC, I should say, with Ty. But yeah, look, I'm all over Nisa. I've already captained him twice this season already. I got on him really early, and I can't fault the guy. The only left field one that I would go with maybe Captain Labuschagne or Renshaw.
Ooh.
It would come down to if you were chasing points. Like if you were chasing points, I think you'd have to go one of those guys.
That's where I'm at. I'm at. I can't win it, so I might as well balls up and go somewhere a bit crazy like I did this week. At the moment, I'm probably going to VC Bancroft just because he hasn't done shit for 3 weeks or 3 rounds. So, and the round before that he turned up. So he does have it in him. It's just going to come back down to him finding a bit of form, I guess. And if he does fail, then I've got to look into the heat. I've really got to look into the heat. Like Renshaw would be a good one, but does he bowl the 2? Does he bowl the 2 games? So he automatically could lose some points there. That's a worry. So for me, I'd whack it on either Labuschagne or who's the one that's been going right? Baisley, isn't it?
Yeah, Baisley.
Is it Baisley's been going just quietly sneaking along pretty well. I don't mind what he's been doing, Baisley. Yeah, he might be my captain.
All right, folks. Well, that's about it from us. We'll catch us all later. Good luck for this week.
Brad, before we go,
Yep.
Stay tuned for Sunday night, 6 p.m. We have another current player on to do a podcast with us, Chris Moraine. So, stay tuned for that. That should be good. Other than that, good luck for next round.
Sunday night. Tune
Thanks,
in,
everyone.
folks. We'll be back on. All right. See you,
Lovely.
Timmy.
Stay safe and be good, boys.
Bye.
Cheers.